The PMP Industry Insider Podcast featured 5 episodes throughout the month of April, covering a wide range of topics that we'll get to right now on Insider's Rewind. It's the PMP Industry Insider Podcast, taking you to the front lines of what's driving change in the pest and lawn industry. I'm Brett, the editor. Insider's Rewind time. And that means we're going back through April and picking some of the most impactful moments from the show. We featured industry names like Nick Bartolo, David Coleman, Cannon Cravey, Kevin LeMasters, and Alex Booth. They all joined the show, and we'll be getting to that shortly. But first, a shout to our sponsors that make the show possible each and every week. Coalmarch, they help pest control companies dominate online SEO, websites, and digital strategies built specifically for this industry. So while you're getting caught up on the podcast, they'll be there to help you get found. You can visit coalmarch.com/podcast to get information on how to get a free month. PestSure is our next sponsor, reminding you that growth only works if you're protected. PestSure helps pest control companies manage risk with insurance programs built specifically for the industry, because the last thing you want is one issue setting you back after all that progress. If you're missing calls, you're missing business, and Voice for Pest makes sure every call gets answered. Trained reps who know pest control, booking jobs while you're out in the field, and they're here to help you capture more business. You can learn more by visiting voiceforpest.com/podcast. And our newest sponsor here in 2026 is Forshaw. They have products and support for the pest control industry. Forshaw has been a trusted name in pest control for decades. Products, expertise, and service to help you stay ahead. Because growth isn't just strategy, it's having the right partners in place. Visit forshaw.com for more information. PMP Industry Insider peer groups are available for you if you're looking to grow your business but are having trouble. Our peer groups will allow you to hear from owners that have faced the same situations before, giving you insights and ideas on how to tackle issues and problems in the field. Also problems in the office and so on. They're facilitated by David Billingsley, and information is available online by visiting pmpindustryinsider.com/peer groups. All right, 5 episodes from April. We're going to start with episode 268. Dan and Donnie welcomed Nick Bartolo. He's the founder of Essential Partners, and the topic is called After the Exit, How to Keep More of What You Built. Now, this is a scary part. You sell your business, you got a pile of cash, you think you're set, right? But then some, I suppose, sneaky expenses come in. And you're like, well, whatever, I got a pile of cash. Why not buy this? And then you start to realize that that pile of cash isn't going to last as long as you thought it would. And this is a great reality section, and one that everyone needs to hear before they decide to sell.
Dan, you and I had dinner, I think it was in Texas, after the Texas show last year. We were talking about this idea. And the first question you need to ask any business owner who wants to sell is like, well, how much money do you need? Like, how much money do you actually need?
What is the multiple? How much money do you need?
Right? How much do you need? Because then if we can do this analysis, we analyze the taxes, we figure out, okay, they tell us, what do you need? Right? And then we can actually design an investment portfolio to be able to generate that type of money on an after-tax basis. And if the numbers don't work, guess what? Like, you shouldn't be selling your business in the first place. And I don't think a lot of people connect those dots all the way across, which sadly, that ends up being a big mistake and how people run out of money, because they look at it and they say, oh my gosh, like $5 million, $10 million, that's a tremendous amount of money. I've been, grinding on this business. And then they have that. But then lo and behold, they buy a house for their mom. They buy a couple cars for their buddies, right? I call that the social tax. And then next thing you know, they're spending more money because they have more free time on their hands, and lo and behold, they run out of money. Mm-hmm. So I do think that quantitative approach can really protect a lot of people. So they're going in the transaction with their eyes open, not just this emotional purge.
So let's go back to that, because that our clients, your clients, every week they get a something from private equity or a phone call from somebody to sell their company, and everybody gets enamored with that. So we do the analysis that you're talking about, but we call it the wealth gap, right? So I need $500,000 a year to do what I'm doing. That means I need 10 million in the bank at 5%, right? I've got 2 million of investments. And so my
Hmm.
wealth gap is 8 million. What's my company worth? My company's worth 4. That means I need to increase it by another 4. And that's after tax, right?
Yep.
So it doesn't matter what the multiple is if it's not enough, right? So
Absolutely.
very,
Yeah. Yeah. You shouldn't even be having the conversation.
yeah.
I mean, you should be having the conversation to plan, but you should not
Right.
be going seriously down that
So
road without that analysis.
one of the things that I've heard, one of the best statements on the subject I've heard is exit planning is just good business. You should start with the end in mind. As soon as you
Hmm.
start, you should be. But if you're, mature, you should still be thinking about it, even if it's a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. You should be thinking about how am I going to exit. So,
Hmm.
it's all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Episode 268 there with Essential Partners founder Nick Bartolo. So we were just coming out of quarter one there in early April, so it was the perfect time to do a quarter one recap podcast. Dan and Donnie solo on this one, episode 269. A cooling economy or just a cold winter? And discussed were the consumer, are they changing? AI, the changes in marketing, and to blend those two together, how much will AI be a part of your marketing in the very near future?
AI is changing so much. I feel silly talking about it in the quarter because it changes by, it literally changes by the month, sometimes by the week. But, I think the main thing right now is that it's kind of the Wild West with AI. I am very impressed, believe it or not. Um, I have been a chat GPT guy for a number of years. I find myself using Gemini a lot more, but it's still, Gemini is great. I mean, especially the newer version because I'm on the Google platform. It works great at work. But as far as like other things, I still go back to ChatGPT. But I think that as far as for your business and what's useful there, I think the main thing is just making sure that on the marketing side, I very much see AI driving pretty much all of your marketing. I mean, I have a daughter right now who's in school for marketing, and I told her, I'm like, you just need to go get an AI degree. Don't even bother.
Is there such a thing?
Well, there's not, but obviously she's, they're in her classes. They're already, I mean, she's just finishing up her sophomore year and they're already digging into, it's going to be the latter part. So yeah, I think the main thing is that, just know that, consumers not disappearing, but the easy sales and the easy margin is, and because your consumers are going to be more discerning, your costs are going to be up because of oil prices if we don't get that under control. And so I just don't know that, you're going to need to make sure that you pay attention. And what I mean by that, the way that you win is going to be, protecting your efficiency, making sure that, and this is just a standard ops stuff, making sure that you're doing very well and optimizing your routes, making sure that every expense is happening. So making sure your efficiency is good. And listen, we all make money in payroll. So that's where you need to pay attention. The other thing is proven value quickly with the consumer. And so, I'm not telling you that you should lower your prices or that you should be the low or the value option. What I'm saying is proving that value quickly, so that, essentially, your brand now has never been more important, especially with the advent of AI. You can't just get away with just paying for your marketing anymore. Like it is. I mean, I know here we are focused much more on the broad perspective because you just can't. AI has just got way too much data. You know what I'm saying? Like you just can't go single source on it anymore. And so you want to make it so that AI systems trust and recommend you. And that is going to that's a long-term play. There's no easy fix there.
Episode 269 with Dan and Donnie there, and we're going to move up to mid-April with episode 270. And we featured two guests on this episode, and it's kind of like the solution and the success story as the guests. True Software, very fascinating. And listening to this episode and the section that I picked here will let you know how it works and how it can work for your company. If, say, you're wondering, what's going on in your trucks while the techs have them out on the road. Check this out.
So a camera's a camera, right? And then obviously there's data. Kind of, can you walk me through like, okay, what's the AI piece of this as far as the
Yeah.
camera?
So, from a technical standpoint, the AI piece is leveraging the mobile device and the AI power that iPhones and Androids have. The camera, forward facing and or inward facing. So we're detecting following distance and then alerting in real time. If AI is determining that your following distance is too close, we're detecting stop signs in real time. So if folks are rolling through stops, are going to get alerted. And then, of course, that data is also available for scoring and coaching. Posted road speed signs. Another great value to the drivers, as road speeds are changing, letting them know based on company policy in real time that, hey, you're 5 miles per hour over, or you're 7 miles per hour over. Letting them know, so then in real time the AI is smart enough to coach in real time the following distance, stop sign, posted road speed, seatbelt. Smoking, unfortunately, can be an issue for folks in vehicles. Fatigue. So yeah, the camera's a very smart lens, but the mobile device is a very smart AI processing
And
capability.
is
So
it
again,
talking to the driver? Like, how is it communicating back to the driver? Like, hey, you just ran a stop sign or whatever.
Correct. Yeah, exactly that. If
That's
they don't
impressive.
stop at a stop sign, yeah,
Yeah.
it says stop sign, or if you're speeding, it'll say, speed limit's 55, and you're
Does it
going
get frustrated
65.
with you? Like, dude, this is the third time I've told. No, I was kidding.
No,
Yeah.
but how does
Well, you know what?
what if you don't
Yes and no, right?
and what if you
It
don't
does get annoying, and
is
and
it?
that's probably why you stop doing it, right? You don't want to hear from the camera anymore.
It's like,
So
my gosh, man. Yeah.
so
well,
kind of interesting. You said that you have the big brother piece of it, but then you have the all the metrics and the training and everything else that comes out of it. Can you explain a little bit about how all that works so it's not seen as big brother and you know
yeah, I mean, we're basically taking the mobile device and turning it into a coach. So the mobile, my iPhone, my Android, when I'm driving, it's my coach. It's my score. It always follows me regardless of what vehicle. Any alerts that I'm receiving from the dash cam. At the core, I'm protected against the device, right? The device disrupts people about one time every 6 miles. And it's not just about people being bad, right? It's just the device wants attention. And as we're sitting here, I bet you our phones are dinging and chirping and beeping. So it's not me being bad as an employee. The device wants my attention. So at the core, you're protecting them against that. So then everything else is available for them to focus on. So speed, acceleration, braking, seatbelt, these are elements that are brought into to my personal score. And then as I want to compete to be the best, I can move up the leaderboard. And then, of course, you have a backdrop of coaching as well. So say on a weekly or biweekly basis, giving people thumbs up for the things they do well, but hey, need them to focus on things they're not doing so well. So now I have a mobile device and it's my personal coach.
Coming up next is a section from episode 271. Kevin LeMasters is the founder of PCO Leader Academy, how to build strong mid-level management in pest control. That's the topic. And Kevin has a great scenario that he's seen before that a lot of you may have seen in your business too, when you take a top performer and throw them into a management position. The assumption is that they'll be great, or will they?
Our industry, I feel like, does a pretty good job of having thorough training for those frontline people in the office and in the field, right? Hey, you've got to spend 3-4 weeks, mirroring somebody and riding with somebody and all this stuff. But when you get put into a supervisor or leadership role, we just say, hey, buddy, you're up, right? Go get them. And
Yeah.
we don't have the same runway. We don't have the same tools and resources to equip them to be successful in that role. We just assume since they were, successful here, they're going to be successful there. And I think a lot of good managers take for granted the things that come natural for them. A lot of good leaders and managers, like the people side of things comes easy and natural. The ability to see, 50,000 foot day to day comes natural for them. They forget that, hey, when I went from that front line to that mid level, it took me some time to adjust. I didn't just go from, seeing everything right in front of me to that 10,000 foot level view overnight. It took me a while to get there. And, in some cases, some people had a better mentor and leader to help coach them through that process. And I think we just take that for granted more times than not, Donnie. In my experience, I think that's where it comes from.
Episode 271 there with PCO Leader Academy founder Kevin LeMasters. Final episode in April featured Alex Booth, and you'll see in a second, he kind of flips the script and asks our hosts a question, at least Donnie, who backed up with a great explanation that everyone needs to consider for their business. And after Alex asks his questions, I want you to try this. Pause the video and answer the question that Alex asks yourself, and then see how it differs or is the same as Donnie's. Here we go.
I think the biggest thing would be answering the question of what is a lead. So I know my definition. I think I know your definition, Donnie.
I'm laughing because this was such a huge debate years ago. Like, I'm talking
is.
epic battles. But anyway, keep going. Yeah.
Well, okay. So I think I know what your answer is, because I think my answer is probably your answer. But what would you define as a lead for Triangle?
My view as a lead is anyone who's interested in purchasing a service, period.
Now, does it have to be a service that you offer?
Does not.
Okay. Well,
does not.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Now,
we're done. That's it. That's
yeah,
the definition.
Literally, it does not need to be, because here's the deal. At the end of the day, whether or not you offer the service is completely separate than did my marketing generate some sort of contact. Now, obviously, you're going to need to look at that. And if you're getting 60% of your leads for a service that you don't do, you still generated a lead. You just generated it for the wrong service. And that means you need to tighten up your marketing. But the reality of it is that, because listen, people, it's like most things, they will want to change definitions. And then you never have a consistent definition, which means your numbers don't mean anything at all, because there's no standard to bring it back to. But no, I've had this debate even internally here at Triangle. I've had to enforce this debate multiple. Well, they're asking about a service we don't offer. I'm like, yeah, it's still a lead. Well, we don't offer it. I'm like, that is irrelevant. Yeah. We generated a contact for someone who's interested in service. Period.
Someone reached out to your company looking for a service.
Correct.
They didn't reach out to someone else.
That's the show, everyone. Thank you for stopping by and recapping the PMP Industry Insiders podcast. Be sure to like and follow and subscribe anywhere you find the PMP Industry Insiders podcast. Basically across the board on social media, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, and so on. And do the same on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. That way we can get out in front of other operators and professionals in the industry. I'm Brett, the editor, and I'll be back in early June to do this all again. Have a great month.